There is a moment that most people never expect. A moment that feels unfamiliar, not because something new appeared, but because something stopped. The constant noise of the mind, the continuous stream of thoughts. The automatic need to interpret everything. For most of your life, your mind has been active. Commenting, analyzing, reacting, filling every moment with something. And because of that, silence feels strange, almost uncomfortable, almost like something is missing, because the mind has trained you to believe that constant activity is normal, that thinking equals being, that interpretation equals understanding. But what if that is not true? What if that constant activity has been covering something deeper, something quieter, something that does not depend on thought? Because there comes a moment where that activity begins to slow down, not completely, not permanently, but enough for you to notice the difference, enough for you to feel the contrast between noise and silence. And in that contrast, something begins to reveal itself. At first, it is subtle, almost unnoticeable. Small gap between thoughts, a brief pause before the next interpretation begins. A moment where nothing is being labeled, nothing is being judged, nothing is being processed. And in that moment, there is no identity being reinforced, no story being told, no version of yourself being maintained, just presence, pure, silent awareness. And this is where something important begins, because for the first time, you are not experiencing reality through the filter of thought. You are experiencing it directly, without distortion, without interpretation, without the constant overlay of identity. And that direct experience feels different. It feels open. Unstructured. Undefined. And because it is unfamiliar, the mind often tries to return. To fill the space. To recreate the noise. To bring back the sense of control. But if you remain in that silence, if you allow that space to exist without rushing to fill it, you begin to notice something profound. Nothing is missing. In fact, something has always been there, hidden behind the noise, covered by constant thinking. And now, it is visible. Awareness. Not as an idea, not as a concept, but as a direct experience. And once you experience that, everything begins to change. Most people live identified with their mind. Every thought feels personal. Every interpretation feels real. Every reaction feels justified. And because of that, there is no separation, no distance, no awareness of the process itself. You are not observing your thoughts. You are inside them. You are not noticing reactions. You are becoming them. Because this happens continuously, it feels normal. It feels like reality itself. But this is where something important needs to be understood. Identification is not awareness. It is absorption. It is being fully immersed in the experience without seeing it clearly. And when you are identified, you cannot question, you cannot observe, you cannot see the structure of what is happening. You can only react. But when identification begins to dissolve, everything changes. Not suddenly, not dramatically, subtly. Gradually. You begin to notice your thoughts. Instead of becoming them, you begin to feel emotions without being consumed by them. You begin to see reactions forming before they take control. And that creates distance. And that distance creates awareness. And that awareness changes everything. Because now, you are no longer fully inside the experience. You are observing it. And this observation is not passive. It is not detached in a cold or distant way. It is clear. Present. Attentive. And within that awareness, you begin to understand something deeper. Your mind is not who you are. It is something you experience, Your thoughts are not your identity. They are expressions of patterns, and your reactions are not. Inevitable. They are conditioned responses, and once this becomes clear, identification begins to weaken, not because you are trying to remove it, but because you are no longer fully participating in it. And without participation, it cannot sustain itself in the same way. At first, awareness comes and goes. You notice it in brief moments. Between thoughts, between reactions, between interpretations. It appears and then disappears. And for a while, it may feel inconsistent, unstable, difficult to maintain. But this is not because awareness is unstable. It is because attention is still conditioned to return to thought. To return to identification. To return to the familiar patterns of the mind. And that is natural, because those patterns have been repeated for a long time. But something begins to change. Slowly. Gradually. You begin to recognize awareness more often. You begin to return to it more easily, not by force, but by recognition. And recognition is different from effort. Effort tries to create something. Recognition simply sees what is already there. And awareness is always there. It is not something you generate. It is something you notice. And as you begin to notice it more frequently, it begins to stabilize. Not because you are holding on to it, but because you are no longer losing yourself completely in thought. You begin to remain present while thoughts are happening. You begin to observe without being pulled. You begin to stay aware without needing to control anything. And this creates a new kind of experience. An experience where thinking still exists, but it is no longer dominant. Where emotions still arise, but they are no longer overwhelming. Where reality is still unfolding, but it is no longer filtered in the same way. And within that experience, there is a sense of stability, not rigid. Not forced, but natural. A stability that comes from not being constantly pulled in different directions, not being lost in every thought, not being carried by every reaction. And as this stability deepens, you begin to trust it. You begin to rely on awareness instead of relying on thought. You begin to experience clarity without needing constant analysis. And that clarity is different. That is immediate, direct, unfiltered. And in that clarity, you begin to see life differently, not as something to constantly interpret, but as something to experience. And that shift changes everything. As awareness becomes more consistent, something deeper happens. It stops being something you access and becomes something you are. Not as a concept, not as an idea, but as a lived experience, constant presence, a stable background to everything that happens. You no longer need to return to awareness because you are not leaving it. Even when thoughts appear, awareness is there. Even when emotions arise, awareness is there. Even when life becomes intense, awareness is still present. Unchanged. Stable. Clear. This is where something fundamental shifts. You are no longer experiencing life through the mind. You are experiencing the mind within. Awareness. And that reverses everything. Because now, thoughts are not controlling perception. They are appearing within it. Reactions are not defining experience. They are being observed. Identity is no longer fixed. It becomes fluid. Flexible. Responsive. And in that flexibility, there is freedom. Not the freedom of escaping life, but the freedom of no longer being limited by unconscious patterns. You begin to respond instead of react. You begin to observe instead of assume. You begin to experience instead of interpret. And this changes how you move. Through the world, situations no longer trigger the same automatic responses. Challenges no longer feel overwhelming in the same way. Uncertainty no longer creates the same level of resistance because there is awareness present. And awareness is stable. It does not depend on circumstances. It does not depend on outcomes. It simply observes. And in that observation, there is clarity. And in that clarity, there is freedom. And in that freedom, there is a completely different way of experiencing reality. Not because reality changed, but because the way you experience it did. And once that happens, there is no need to return to old patterns, because you see them clearly, and what is seen clearly no longer has the same power. And in that awareness, you finally experience something that was always available, but rarely noticed. A sense of being simple, direct, unfiltered, and completely present.